You're flying at 20,000 feet. Target locked. You see it clearly now. A factory. Lights on. Shape confirmed. You don't hesitate. Bombs away. Seconds later, you're already turning back. Mission complete. Except, there was no factory, no workers, no machines. Nothing. Just an empty field. And a few cheap lights. And here's the disturbing part. You weren't the only one fooled. Entire bomber fleets. Trained, experienced, precise. All hitting targets that didn't exist. Again, and again, and again. So the question is, how do you trick an entire air force with something that costs less than $1? Because this wasn't advanced technology. No secret weapon, no hacking. Just a simple idea. So effective, it quietly rewrote how war is fought. And most people still don't know it happened. But to understand this, you need to feel the pressure first. Because this trick didn't start as a strategy. It started as panic. World War II. Night bombing campaigns, massive formations crossing the sky, engines roaring, no warning, no mercy, cities blacked out, people hiding underground, waiting, listening, hoping the bombs don't land on them. And once the bombers found you, that was it. You couldn't stop them. Fighters struggled at night. Radar was limited. Anti-air guns were blind half the time, so defense wasn't enough. They needed something else. Something smarter. And then someone asked a dangerous question. What if we don't stop them? What if we mislead them? At first it sounded insane. These were trained crews. They studied maps. They memorized targets. They practiced identification from the air. You can't just trick them, right? But this is where everything changes. Because bombers had one weakness. They trusted what they saw. Think about it. You're flying in darkness. High altitude. Cold. Tired. Adrenaline pumping. You don't have time to question everything. You look down, and your brain does one thing. Does this match the target? If yes, you act. No second guessing. No hesitation. And that single human behavior became the exploit. So instead of building better defenses, they built better lies, fake targets. But not the kind you're imagining. Not detailed. Not perfect. In fact, from the ground they looked terrible. Wood frames, cloth, scrap materials, basic lights, sometimes just controlled fires. It looked like a joke. Until you saw it from the sky. From thousands of feet up, those rough shapes blended. Lights formed patterns. Shadows created depth. And suddenly, it wasn't fake anymore. It was a factory. A rail yard. A perfect target. And this is the moment everything clicked. Because the first time bombers hit one, it worked. Direct hits. Full payloads. Wasted. On nothing. But what happened next is what made this terrifying. They didn't realize the mistake. They reported success. They believed the mission was complete. And command? They marked the target as destroyed. Except the real target was still standing, completely untouched. Now imagine what that means. You don't just survive the attack. You erase it. You make it never happen. And once they saw this, they didn't stop. They scaled it. More decoys, more locations, more patterns. Entire fake industrial zones, built just to be bombed. But here's where it gets genius, because it wasn't just about building fakes, it was about when to show them. These decoys stayed invisible most of the time, dark, silent, dead, until radar detected incoming bombers. Then suddenly, lights switch on, fires ignite, shapes appear, right on cue. To the pilots above, it looked like a living target, active, real, perfect timing, so they committed. Every time. And here's the detail most people miss. They didn't try to fool experts. They only needed to fool the brain. For a few seconds. That's it. A quick glance. A pattern match. Decision made. Bombs dropped. And once the bombs are gone, it's too late to rethink. This is pure psychological engineering. Your brain under pressure doesn't analyze, it confirms. And these decoys were designed for one thing: to pass that confirmation test instantly. They didn't need accuracy, they needed believability. And the cost? Almost nothing. Scrap wood, cheap bulbs, basic wiring, manpower. That's it. Meanwhile, each bombing mission, massive cost. Fuel, aircraft, crew risk, explosives, time, and all of that redirected by something built in a field. But this is where things get intense. Because the enemy didn't stay fooled forever. Some pilots started noticing patterns. Something felt off. Targets too clean, too perfect, too easy. And once suspicion starts, the illusion weakens. So the decoys had to evolve. Fast. They added imperfections, fake damage, broken sections, burn marks. So it looked like previous strikes had already hit. Now when bombers returned, they believed they were finishing the job. Think about that. They didn't just trick them once. They created a loop, a cycle of false success. And this is where the real twist hits. This wasn't just defense anymore. It became strategy. Because once you can control where bombs fall, you control the battlefield. You protect real infrastructure. You waste enemy resources. You drain their confidence, all without direct combat. And eventually, both sides started doing it. Fake airfields, fake aircraft, fake troop movements, even fake armies. Entire operations, built on deception. Because now everyone understood something critical. War isn't just about destruction, it's about perception. If the enemy believes something is real, it becomes real to them. And once they act on that belief, the damage is already done. Now go back to that pilot. He did everything right. Followed orders, identified the target, dropped accurately, escaped safely, perfect mission. But in reality, he failed completely. Not because he was weak, not because he made a mistake, but because someone on the ground controlled what he saw. And that's the part that changes how you think about power. Because the most effective weapon in that moment wasn't force, it was illusion. A cheap trick, easy to ignore, hard to detect, and devastatingly effective. So here's the question that lingers. If something this simple could outsmart entire air forces back then, what do you think? Is fooling us today?